And I'll show you how you can bring your frequencies up and bring them back into joy and balance. It's Susan Edwards of the Nice Rock Shop in Paducah, Kentucky. Today, we're going to talk about resonance and why it's important to you. So what is resonance? Well, resonance is when something starts to vibrate in sympathy with or in harmony with something else. So we're going to use this guitar as an example of how resonance and the frequencies around you can make a really big difference either negatively or positively in your life. So let's pretend that this guitar represents life and you're one of these smaller strings, and life is this big string and it's often way out of tune. Stuff goes on. You lose your job, I don't know, you get hurt, you get sick, I don't know, somebody's around you, they're always complaining. Can you hear how those other strings are starting to vibrate? Let me do it again. I hope you can hear that. So I didn't pluck those smaller strings, but they're resonating in frequency with the big string. So what does that mean? Well, that means that when you're around someone or something that's always stressful or complaining or negative, you're going to start to vibrate, especially if you're tired or worn out or you've been injured. So you really have to be careful about what frequencies you are willing to surround yourself with. And the opposite can happen also. Surround yourself with positive people, positive frequencies, and you can bring your frequencies up. So how do you do that? Well, that is the trick, isn't it? And I'll show you how you can bring your frequencies up and bring them back into joy and balance. Happiness is two main things. First of all, it's a frequency. We're not talking about being happy like, oh, I love my chocolate cake, or oh, I love this new boyfriend, or anything like that. Nothing superficial. What I'm talking about is happiness is a frequency and something that we can choose to resonate with. So here's how it goes. Let's say you're a radio, and on this radio you can have any station playing that you want. And in our example, 88.1, some of the lower frequencies like fear, anxiety, jealousy, all the icky stuff. And 107.7 is all the happy stuff. It's joy and happiness and gratitude, and there's everything in between. So in our example, you can tune to one station or another. And for example, let's say you like jazz. So what station would you tune to on your radio? Probably the jazz station. Let's say it's 105. So when you tune to 105, you would expect to hear jazz music. That would be the playlist. But if you liked rock and roll was 101.2, then don't expect to hear rock and roll on the jazz station. It's not realistic. So what happens is we tend to tune with whatever station the people around us want us to tune to, or we just through resonance start to harmonize with. And often it's not real high frequency stuff. So we tend to start, going down the dial to some of the baser emotions, things like fear or jealousy or anger. Anger is a good one. And if you tune into those lower stations, then don't be surprised if the playlist is all that stuff that you don't like. Fear, anxiety, jealousy, hatred, all of those low bass emotions. The simple thing is, well, tune it to another station that you do like. It's not always that simple, is it? So exactly how do you tune to another station? It's going to be different for every single person. What I do, I know there's a couple of things that work for me. And first of all, I stop checking in on the stations that I don't like, let's say 88.1, to see if they're still playing that icky stuff I don't like. How many times have you've had an argument, or you've gotten frustrated, or you've been betrayed or whatever, and you keep going back to it, and you're chewing on it, and it's like, yeah, you know what they did. Blah. Okay, well, that's tuning back into the station that you said you don't like the playlist of, just to see if it's still playing or not. So you just keep dialing back to what you don't want. if what you want to listen to is rock and roll or jazz or classic or pick, it doesn't matter, then you have to constantly be retuning your radio back to the station that is playing the playlist that you like. So if you like play, if you like joy and childlike happiness, then you got to tune into that station. And how do you do that? Well, go do those things. Remember what we just talked about in terms of resonance? Be silly. Go color. There's lots of opportunities to be with people who like to do the same things that you like to do. Go out and do them. Listen to music that makes you happy or brings your spirits up. Listen to radio and TV stations, to programming that makes you happy. One of the best things to do is watch something that's funny and just laugh. If you don't have a TV or you're not able to do that like right away, just fake laugh it, ha 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 ha. I know it's kind of silly, but what happens is it brings your frequencies up, and that's exactly what you want to do.